thoughts before we get into questions?
Maybe just backing up a little bit. We, had some good efforts this weekend. I think Pitt's kind of like we were in that both of them, Arizona State and Pitt, were without some of their personnel. So maybe it's that time of year. We sure need South Dakota State and UNI to be without some personnel this weekend. I can tell you that. They haven't been without much personnel all year. But just talking about this past weekend, I thought it was really good. We got some new faces in there, and gosh, our sports information guy over here told me we wrestled 25 different guys this year, and we've only had the same lineup, I think, twice out of 20 some tries, or 14 tries, I guess. So that just shows you kind of what we've had to go through. And this weekend, we're still not quite sure, being that it's Tuesday, we're still not quite sure who's going to go yet. We do think we're going to have Chittum back. He got over his sickness. Bachman is a maybe yet because he's coming off mono. Looks like we kind of got the same guys that we had last weekend, so we'll see who looks like. Hang on, I got it on my eye here. Must be that snowflake out there. Squirt gun. Yeah, squirt gun. Yeah. I didn't have room for all my emojis. I don't want to short South Dakota State because we got to worry about South Dakota State. It's going to be a tough weekend for us. Besides traveling and staying in strange places and dealing with sub-zero temperatures and being in Brookings. Every time we go to Brookings, they set records for minus 30 or something. So that won't be any different. And but then we're going to drive back from Brookings to Cedar Falls, stay in Cedar Falls Saturday night, and then you got two teams that are really going to be laying for us in terms of it's their last home dual meet, it's a senior night. So there's a lot of reasons that they're going to be stoked up. But we need that. We need to feel that. It's just like going into the Big 12s in Tulsa. You need to feel that tough situations, and so we're going to have it tough both places.
Bachman, if he comes back, or I guess whoever wrestles is going to have two really highly ranked guys.
Yeah.
I mean, how does that factor in? Do you A, want him to get back for that type of competition, or B, do you want to make sure he's fully well before he faces that
Boy, it's
level?
a fine line. It's we really got to see today, Tuesday, and Wednesday and Thursday how he feels in these workouts. Tomorrow's just kind of a day on their own, day off. Today we went hard this morning, so we really got to see, 6 o'clock tonight how he feels and how he feels Thursday before we make that decision. We'll definitely take two guys at 84, but he's getting a lot better. Sometimes if I let him choose the weekend before, and he went out and wrestled with mono, so I'm not giving him more choices. He didn't even tell us he was sick, and he had mono, so we're not going to let him choose going forward.
How do you game plan for a guy like Parker Kick guys?
Is that 2x4 and switchblade thing again? Yeah. 2x4 and a switchblade. Hope he's got mono. That's what we got to do. He's hard to slow down. He's fun to watch. He's just, you're going to have to really, really bring it to stay with him. That's for sure.
For a guy like Aiden Riggins, who's I think has two top 20 opponents this weekend, how much is him in a matchup like that trying to get some confidence and keep things rolling? I think it's 5 of his last 6 he's gotten wins.
Yeah, it's a big weekend for Aiden. I agree. This is a chance for him to get in the top 20. So I'm excited. I think he's wrestling well. He's getting more confidence. I think he's feeling good at 65. So we're trending there.
But Jacob Frost is going to get some good competition too. Is he? I know they've got him ranked 11 and 9. Is he wrestling like a top 10 guy, or is he wrestling like a top 5 guy at this point?
Oh, I think he's definitely a top 10 guy. I mean, I know those top 5 guys are pretty good, and but I think this is going to be a great test for him this weekend. I mean, the South Dakota State kid's real salty. We're probably favored on paper there. Obviously, he's never beaten Happel, and he needs to be ready to go in that match. So, with these two lineups, I'm telling you, these guys, about all these guys are ranked pretty high. So, we're not many guys are gonna get a match off this weekend.
Cody Chittum's mental game, how's he feeling after being out?
I think his mental game's been great all year long. He just kind of got a stomach bug, but I think he's super excited for this weekend. He's got 2 tough customers as well. So I know he's been knocking on that UNI guy's door for all last year and didn't bust it down, so he wants to bust it down this weekend.
Yeah, those were some close matches last year with Ryder Downey and Chittum. What does Chittum need to do to reverse some of those results?
Well, I think we got to wrestle a little bit smarter. He's a crafty dude. We got to get away. And we got to get to, he's hard to score on. He's slippery. we got to secure that takedown and just be ready to go.
You mentioned wrestling smarter. That's something that Chittum brought up, and I think you brought up a couple weeks ago. His mat IQ is starting to get better this year. He's starting to make better decisions on the mat. Is that one thing you're hoping translate into this?
Yeah, this will be a great test because I think this guy from UNI wrestles really smart. He's really savvy, and so you got to beat him on the mat, and you got to beat him in the head game too. So I'm really excited to see that match. And I know Cody is too.
Big picture, you kind of maybe know, barring, knock on wood, more injuries, you kind of know probably who you're going to have once you get to Big 12s and NCAAs. Just how big are two really tough dual meets to, get some confidence. Some of the newer guys that are going to have to be in the lineup for nationals and all that, and everyone else who's shooting for All-American podium type stuff.
Well, like I said, this is a great test for us. It's a great test to get ready for the Big 12. It's a great test to get ready for seeding purposes at the Big 12 for the nationals. So and then you get to finish at Missouri the following week. So it's really set up well for us. Then we get a week off before we go to Big 12s. Terkina is really progressing. He's not ready to compete yet this weekend, but he's getting close. So you get him and Bachman healthy in there. I mean, you think about it right now. Last weekend we wrestled all sophomores and freshmen, and so we had 2 seniors back in there at Big 12s, and we're going to need those guys down the stretch.
How are you seeing these young guys respond to being called up to get the start?
I think they've done well. I mean, I think Perryman's competing hard. I mean, obviously Faustic had a good match. Herrera's really, just made some freshman mistakes, but was in there with the top 10 guy. The improvement of that guy has been great. So, we just got to keep thinking about getting better at wrestling, and I think we got our guys pretty good shape right now, and I think we're pretty tough. We'll find out how tough we are by Sunday night because we're gonna have a lot thrown at us. But when you focus on just getting better at wrestling, that's a good direction to go.
Schwab talked a lot about wanting to pack McLeod Center this weekend. So, do you like going into environments like that as a team to experience that?
That's a fun place to wrestle. Our guys are like, it'll be packed. Yeah, I know it'll be packed. When you got the 4th ranked team and the 11th ranked team, I think, and we're the 14th ranked team, that's all you need to say in terms of who's favored and who's not favored, and what kind of excitement it brings to that, especially that match on Sunday.
Do you have any friendly trash talking for Schwab this year?
Well, he just texted me, and I texted him, and he said, I said, hey, can we use your room at 6 o'clock? And he said, I'm not letting you use our room. You can't use our room. There's kind of an inside joke there, but I said, are you serious? And he said, no, I'm just use a cuss word. No. Yeah, they'll be ready for us.
But in retrospect, with Herrera, is it almost impossible to overstate, or I guess whatever, appreciate the amount of mental fortitude it took for him to be thrown into the fire as a guy that just dialed in himself physically and then has to go through this grind, as a baptism by fire, month after month after month, match after match after match.
He really made some sacrifices. So his senior year, he left home, 18 years old, lived on his own, left his comfort zone completely, and moved to Ames. And because of RTC rules, was able to work out with us a lot and really changed his body. If you would have saw him 2 years ago or a year and a half ago, and then kind of coming in thinking you're going to get a redshirt year, and you just get thrown into, like just this last weekend, you basically have 2 top 10 guys. It's just to look at the progress from when he made that decision. He would never be competing at this level if he wouldn't have made that decision last year to come in and take a lot of those butt kickings in the room early. Not that he still doesn't take a few, but he's just really. I found out. I think I said Sunday afterwards what a competitor is. Like he doesn't like to lose, and he competes really well.
We talked a lot about earlier this year. Herrera's eating habits came up. What have you seen his development this season?
He says he doesn't eat French fries anymore because I told him he had to quit eating French fries. He was a fast food king when we got him. I mean, 3 double cheeseburgers, a large fry, a milkshake. That was his diet. Like, he didn't want to eat anything but that. And so, I started chirping at him saying, hey, you need to, if you really want to be good at this wrestling stuff, just because you're not cutting weight, you need to learn how to eat really good, And so he went from 280, a sloppy 280, to 245 right now. And his abs are starting to show a little bit. They're not quite there yet, but we're getting there. But he's done a good job.
What has been the biggest thing you've learned this season navigating all the adversity?
Yeah, probably scratching my head, wondering, in terms of, I guess just that, you have bad luck and you wonder why, when your schedule's the same and your training regimen's the same and the days that you lift are the same and the days you give your guys off the same and the wrestle off process and the first home match and the second home match and then going to Vegas and doing everything, then going to Nashville, to have 1 year just where everything went right and we probably had the same lineup 90% of the time last year, and this year completely flips. And I think what it does is it forces you to get tough, and it forces you to put guys in there that, in the long run will be better now, because we've had some guys that never would have got reps and now they're getting reps. So you always try to find the silver lining, and that's my silver lining.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Hit 'em next, huh?